NBA Finals. Who watched the NBA Finals yesterday? I know I did. I know I got pretty hyped up watching the NBA Finals. Well, you know what happened in the NBA Finals last night? Nikola Jokic happened. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the dominance of Nikola Jokic as he got a triple-double in his NBA Finals debut. He just got that casually. The Nuggets won Game 1 of the NBA Finals by the score of 104-93 as they played very effectively as a team. This win now brings the Nuggets to a 9-0 record at home in the NBA playoffs this season. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. How impressive was Nikola Jokic's triple-double for the Nuggets? And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to go ahead and give a bold take for the situation, which is a 10. I'm going to give this score a 10 out of 10 for Nikola Jokic. Why am I going to give such high marks for Nikola Jokic? Because I saw what Nikola Jokic did in Game 1 and how he impacted the game in so many different ways. I've never seen a triple-double look more impressive than Nikola Jokic. Unlike Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic is not padding up his stats and not trying to stat chase his numbers as much as possible so that way he can fool people into thinking that he is an excellent player when in reality he's not. When Nikola Jokic gets a triple-double, he means business, and Nikola Jokic, man, he can impact the game in so many different ways. Nikola Jokic is one of my favorite players in all of basketball, and this is why. He can score the ball effectively, he can shoot the three ball well, he has good post-up moves, he knows how to lay up the basketball really well, he's an underrated defender. And as for the people that keep saying Nikola Jokic can't play defense, where are you guys getting that information from? Nikola Jokic is actually a very good defender. Sure, he's not going to leap up 12 feet in the air, and sure, he's not going to fly 10 feet to make a come from behind block. Sure, he's not going to be the leaper that a LeBron James is, like a Joel Embiid can be, but Nikola Jokic actually is a very good defender. He knows where to stand in his spots and how to play pick and roll situations, and he knows how to get rebounds. Nikola Jokic is a great rebounder, and he knows how the game of basketball works. He understands the game of basketball so well that he knows how to get his teammates involved. Nikola Jokic knows that, hey, I can get my own points at any given time. I can get in the first quarter, I can get in the second quarter, I can get in the third quarter, or I could even get in the fourth quarter. It doesn't even really matter to me because Nikola Jokic knows that he can go ahead and pick when to show up while knowing, hey, I need to boost up these teammates because those teammates can't improve without my guidance. And Nikola Jokic knows that, hey, let's get Jamal Murray going early in the game. Let's get Aaron Gordon going early in the game. Let's get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope involved. Let's get Bruce Brown some open looks. When you looked at what was happening in the first quarter of the NBA Finals, I was surprised how dominant Aaron Gordon was in the Finals. I knew Aaron Gordon was going to be a good player for the Denver Nuggets. I knew that this was going to be somewhat of a mismatch for the Miami Heat. But when you watched Aaron Gordon play in the NBA Finals yesterday, you're thinking, man, Aaron Gordon is finally showing off why he was a former top 4 pick in the 2014 NBA draft. When I looked at Aaron Gordon, usually I think of him as a tweener that can dominate down low and who can sometimes put amazing dunks, but really doesn't have much of a game. But Aaron Gordon showed me more than that yesterday. Aaron Gordon showed me as a guy that could dominate in the post and knowing how to take advantage of his mismatches. The Miami Heat were trying to switch everything early on, and when they weren't trying to switch everything early on, they were playing a ton of zone, and they had Gabe Vincent on Aaron Gordon, which is just an absolute mismatch. Gabe Vincent is already an undersized defender, and Aaron Gordon, he's 6'8", 235 pounds, and he has a ton of muscle. What do you think Aaron Gordon is going to do when he sees that matchup? Aaron Gordon was probably thinking and said, oh my God, I'm going to have such an easy path to the lane for an easy layup because they got Gabe Vincent on me because the Miami Heat keep switching everything. And Nikola Jokic realized that early on, and credit to Nikola Jokic for studying film because that takes studying film to truly know that. And Nikola Jokic was like, okay, let's get Aaron Gordon in the post early on and let's feed him the ball in the paint and let me get out of the way and let me elevate him. So I was thinking about how Nikola Jokic was making all those assists. I was thinking, wow, this guy has the basketball IQ of a god because that's how good Nikola Jokic was. So that's where some of his assists came early on. And Aaron Gordon had 12 points in the first quarter. There were games where Aaron Gordon doesn't even score 12 points, period. So for Aaron Gordon to score 12 points in the first quarter, that's just wow. Look at Aaron Gordon taking over the game, and look at Nikola Jokic putting him in position to take over the game. Now, Aaron Gordon ended up the game with 16 points, but man, he shot from the field pretty effectively. 70% from the field. Yeah, he didn't make any three-pointers, but he made all his free throws, and he was a great defender. I thought he did a tremendous job locking down Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was rendered useless in Game 1, and we've been praising Jimmy Butler all all year long in the playoffs. We've been talking about how Jimmy Butler has looked like the son of Michael Jordan, but in the NBA Finals in Game 1, he looked very ordinary. Jimmy Butler just looked like a generic dude playing basketball because that's how useless he was for the Miami Heat in Game 1. Yeah, he shot 6 of 14 from the field, but how does Jimmy Butler, a supposed superstar, only shoot the ball 14 times in that game? How does he only take 2 3-pointers? Jimmy Butler was not very effective on the offensive side of the ball. I thought Jimmy Butler was very passive for the Miami Heat. And when Jimmy Butler only scores 13 points, yeah, that's not a winning recipe for the Miami Heat whatsoever. When you look at what the Denver Nuggets were doing, though, Nikola Jokic, he was hustling on the defensive end of the floor. He was rebounding the ball. He was passing the ball very effectively. He was setting screens very effectively. He understood the game of basketball very effectively. And when he understands all those factors very effectively, it's going to be very hard to beat the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic recognized that. And credit to Nikola Jokic for how he keeps getting himself to the free throw line, because everybody knows Nikola Jokic can dominate in the paint, and so that means everybody's being aggressive to Nikola Jokic, and Nikola Jokic understands that, hey, he's got to draw some fouls, and that's exactly what he did. Nikola Jokic shot 12 free throws in this game. He made 10 of them, but Nikola Jokic, he dominated the paint, and he was drawing fouls like crazy. And for Nikola Jokic to score 27 points off of only 12 shot attempts, that tells me that Nikola Jokic is being super efficient. And when I look at Nikola Jokic, I'm wondering how he didn't win an MVP this year, because Nikola Jokic absolutely should have won the MVP. This man is truly one of the most dominant players in all of basketball. Honestly, the reason why people don't think he's dominant is because he doesn't look the part. He doesn't have a lot of muscle like Giannis Antetokounmpo. He doesn't have a jumper like Kevin Durant. He doesn't have the athleticism of a LeBron James, and he doesn't have the big body that Joel Embiid has for the Philadelphia 76ers. But Nikola Jokic understands the game of basketball really well, and he knows how to pass the basketball effectively. I thought he was kind of looking like Peyton Manning out there. And when I say Peyton Manning, I'm talking about how Peyton Manning was an efficient passer for the Colts and Broncos, and how he would always drop those dimes. That's exactly what Nikola Jokic was doing. I know it's a different sport. I just want to throw in the Peyton Manning reference because he was a former Denver Bronco, and since the Denver Nuggets are in the NBA Finals, that kind of has some affiliation in and of itself, since the Nuggets and the Broncos both play in the same city. As far as how I see the rest of the series going, I think the Denver Nuggets are going to still win this series. I picked the Nuggets to win this series in 5 games. I'm sticking by that prediction. This Heat team is just simply too small for the Denver Nuggets, and when a team is too small for the Denver Nuggets, that spells trouble, because if the team is too small, how are they going to have the size to slow down Nikola Jokic? How are they going to have the size to slow down Aaron Gordon? And also, you're looking at how the Nuggets have a really good point guard in there as well. They got Jamal Murray, who's one of the most underrated point guards in all of basketball. The fact that he's never made an all-star game is a crime in and of itself. Jamal Murray is one of the most underrated point guards in all of basketball. He certainly got to show that to the rest of the NBA world yesterday. He was incredible for the Nuggets. He chipped in 26 points. He shot the ball pretty efficiently. And even though the Nuggets only shot 8 of 27 from the three-point line, it felt like they were knocking down enough three-pointers to keep themselves in this game and certainly win this game. And it was certainly better than what the Miami Heat were doing. Sure, the Miami Heat made more threes and they were shooting the ball at a higher clip than what the Denver Nuggets were doing, but they took 39 three-point shots. And speaking of the Miami Heat in terms of efficiency, how do you go for an entire game where you only shoot 2 free throws? How do you do that? In a league where they like to call fouls more than ever, the Miami Heat ended up with 2 free throws. That's the fewest amount of free throws that has ever happened in an NBA playoff game. And for the Miami Heat to only shoot 2 free throws, that's unacceptable for the Miami Heat to have. And I'm telling you, man, the Miami Heat, if they want to win a game in this series, they got to go ahead and draw more free throws. But I think they can do that, because there's no way they're going to end up with that little amount of free throws ever again. And how does Haywood Highsmith, a role player, end up being the only player for the Miami Heat to attempt free throws? Jimmy Butler is supposed to be a god at creating free throws and drawing contact, but Jimmy Butler ran away from the contact. It was very passive. That is unacceptable for the Miami Heat to have only shot 2 free throw attempts. And as for the Miami Heat, man, they did not get good contributions from Max Strus, from Caleb Martin, and from Duncan Robinson. If those 3 role players for the Miami Heat are combining to score 6 points, yeah, they don't got much of a shot to win this series. And speaking of role players, why aren't they playing Kevin Kevin Love? Why are they giving Cody Zeller more minutes than Kevin Love if you're the Miami Heat? When you look at this Miami Heat team, you're wondering why they're even playing Cody Zeller, because Cody Zeller is a mismatch for the Miami Heat to have, because Cody Zeller cannot guard Nikola Jokic. He's a defensive liability, and he doesn't really provide anything on the offensive end of the floor other than setting screens. Kevin Love can at least provide three-point shooting and elite passing sometimes. So for the fact that Kevin Love never played in Game 1, that's a little bit of an odd stat to see. And if you're the Miami Heat, you probably got to put in Kevin Love in Game 2. If nothing else, just give the Miami Heat a little bit of a spark. But Kevin Love not playing in Game 1, that might come back to cost the Miami Heat in the end. But even then, though, I still got the Nuggets winning the series in 5 games. I got the Denver Nuggets winning Game 2. The Denver Nuggets are just too big for the Miami Heat, and their three-point shots are going to fall down eventually. For them to only make 8 threes and win by double-digit amount of points, that's really impressive for what the Denver Nuggets did. And Nikola Jokic, man, he needs to be named Finals MVP when all of this is said and done, because Nikola Jokic is truly a special player. He is the most underrated superstar in all of basketball, and I'm honestly sick of it, because Nikola Jokic is so good at what he does, yet nobody seems to care about what he is doing. When Russell Westbrook was getting all those triple doubles, everybody was hyping up Russell Westbrook and yelling that he was the best point guard in all of basketball. But when Nikola Jokic does it, it seems like nobody cares, and I'm honestly getting agitated about that. But hey, if you're Nikola Jokic, let the game continue to do its own talking, because eventually people are going to notice, and if you don't notice, well, I'm just going to have to clown you for being an idiot. So that is why Nikola Jokic's triple-double was very impressive, as the Nuggets look very good overall as a team. Remember this, I'm going to stick with the Nuggets winning the series in 5 games. I also got the Nuggets winning Game 2 by 10 to 15 points to win Game 2 comfortably. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.